Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got some unfortunate news. The starters we started a couple videos ago, unfortunately we forgot to close the windows on our greenhouse and we had a cold front come through and some freezing temps the other night. So all the soil and everything froze up inside the greenhouse. So we had to replant. So Jeri got those restarted. I wanted to test, she got some different soil because the soil we had for planting was kind of the in-ground, the bigger pieces. We got more of the fine planting soil. So I'll take that old stuff and just throw it in the garden. What she did is just replanted those same starts. And today, she has a whole bunch of other starts that she has to do. So she's been out here in the greenhouse getting that all going. We also took some of our compost and I brought a bucket of it up here because I wanted to see what grows better or faster in comparison, the Miracle-Gro soil, planting soil, or some of our direct compost that we created here on the farm. I want to see how the results are because I have a feeling our compost should do pretty good. How's it coming in here?
It's coming.
So of course there's a whole lot more that goes into today's planting as opposed to the other video. A lot more starts. Now which are these? Is this our compost?
Two different watermelons. This one is our compost, and these ones.
And over there.
Oh well, there's one actually. There's one of those and one of those, okay. So we can see.
So we have it kind of split up. One tray with our compost, one tray with the potting soil here, and this is the new stuff we got, the Miracle-Gro moisture control potting soil. We're gonna give that a try. It's more fine and helps clump up and create that starter block a little easier. And we went to tried some of these back to the roots. This is USA seeds here. Instead of seeds and such, we still have seeds and such seeds here that we're using up, but we had an issue with those other ones because they froze and they didn't take. So we're going to double up today to catch back up. We've got 2 of the bell peppers, 2 of the sweet red peppers here, 2 eggplants back there, and then we've got okra here and okra here. So additional stuff today. We've got some watermelon, and let's see what else do we have. Some tomato, onion, a couple different tomatoes. Yeah, so a few other crops to start today, but we have to restart the original start. So that's why I've got a whole bunch up here, but we shouldn't have any more cold spells where it's gonna freeze out, and we're trying to get the hang of regulating the door here. So we usually just keep this door open, pulls the most draft through, and then we have the fan down there by the crops and the desk. So it is a little warm in there. I'm thinking about getting some shade cloth or something and blocking some of this off so it cuts down on how much heat comes in. But let me know if you guys have any ideas. Other than that, maybe opening up the sides for additional breeze. I mean, it's not too hot now, but it's also not super hot outside yet. And once it starts getting hotter out here, it's going to be cooking real fast in there. We don't want to get too hot because we don't want to kill the plants, but we just at least got to get them started so we can get them out to the garden outside. Plant.
Bell pepper. These are pollinator plants. I'll do those. I'll have some of those extra. I'll just do them in those ones. I have 2 secretariats.
the sweatshirt to go.
First, I only need 20 of these.
What was in on it?
Yeah, it was gonna be like one seed. I should have brought little tweezers. You wanna come on that side?
Yeah, I gotta see this stuff. Alright, while Jerry's up at the greenhouse finishing up those plant starts, I'm going to head back over to the pig paddocks so we can start laying out our new paddock design. I need to get that going because our pigs are coming here pretty soon, hopefully within the next month. So I need to at least get the first paddock completed and then try to lay out how the paddock designs are going to go. Still haven't figured out how the gate design is going to go at the front of the barn there to attach all the paddocks in order to flow between them. But we'll figure that out here in a little bit once I get the layout of the initial paddocks done, so I know what measurements I have to play with. So let's go up there, take a look at that, and get working. I'm going to use this surveyor line. We're going to go out there and kind of attach it to the start point where one of the T-posts is going to go, or maybe on the back fence, pull it all the way out, and that way I get my line. I can put T-posts in right along that line, do the next row over, do that line. That way we have the lines for the T-post to follow to build out the design of the paddocks. Okay, so first thing we want to do here is lay this string out. I'm thinking start it here somewhere and run that way. That way I have a starting point. But the issue is I'm not quite sure where I want to start it because I know I have to redo this wall. Let me put this down for a second. All right, so I know I have to redo this wall here eventually. Right now it can be in use because for pigs it's fine. This other stall over here, or this other paddock area, that's gonna be for a goat eventually down the road, or a male goat, and that's all gonna get cleaned up, reseeded, and look nice. So once we get the goat, we'll have to replace this short wall here, which is, this fencing is just, it's just chicken wire that's on that fence. I might even just go right to this corner right here, and we're gonna go straight out to the fence over there. So I'm gonna connect over this line, and we're gonna run the line straight over there and get our straight point. All right, I think I'm gonna just reuse this line here, or this T-post. We'll have to put a different fence. We'll replace the short fencing here to make this taller like this 5 foot. But I'm gonna tie it from this and use this as our corner for paddock number 1. And this line already has a loop on it, so all I need to do is just get this around the T-post a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to take this and slowly work my way back to the fence. All right, I got this first wire ran. It gives me a guide all the way down. I don't know if you could see, way down there. It goes all the way to the fence. That gives me a road to kind of follow where the fence needs to go for paddock 1. Right now though, like I said, we're gonna reuse this old, where we had the pigs last. We're gonna reuse that for a goat paddock that's going to attach to this door once I rebuild it. I mean, well, it's gonna attach it there, but I gotta rebuild that door. This edge of the paddock is gonna have to be at least a 5 foot wire for the goats not to jump in through all the pig paddocks. However, since we're not gonna be using this paddock up here for the goat anytime soon, I'm just gonna reuse the infrastructure, the T-post and the chicken wire that's in here for most part for this one. And we're not going all the way back to the fence. We're just gonna go where the chicken wire is currently, right here, and back up to the corner of the barn. That gives us the first paddock for the small pigs. They don't need a whole lot of space to roam and root when they're that little. Once they grow a little bit bigger, they'll be onto paddock 2, which will then be all the way to the fence. Gives them more area to root, fresh terrain, and all that stuff. So the back part of this that goes behind the paddock 1 back to the pasture fence back there, that's going to be part of the woods area where the goats are eventually going to be able to go. So they're going to have the field area all the way out front of the barn, all the way around, and then down into the woods here a little bit. Of course, there's woods right here in this paddock, but again, we're going to try to probably use this for the male goat once we get our breeding herd going next year. So now that I know the guidelines here, it gives me an idea. We're just going to close this off. I have what I need to reuse on this side. So all I'm going to do is going to take this surveyor line again, and we're going to run the second run from the second post all the way out at the pasture fence right here to the corner of the barn, and that gives me that line. And then I can go down that line and start putting T-posts in and connecting. We'll at least have the first paddock ready for pigs to come in, other than just cleaning out the pig stall a little bit. But yeah, so let's get going. I'll run that line and get some T-posts put up. So I'm gonna get the string and then we're gonna attach it. I'm gonna attach it to this old hook where I had the feeder. We're gonna pull it from there. I think that's a decent reference point to that other post. I guess I gotta go on the other side of that tree. Is that one little branch? There we go. There, that gives us our line. This is how I just temporarily tie it up. I wrap it around a few times and then just kind of pinch it in the holder there. Now we have our line. It goes all the way back to the barn. This gives me the line where I need to put T-posts. So now I just need to go ahead and grab some T-posts, line them up with that line. Space them out about, I think we're gonna do about every 8 feet or so. That way if we ever put cow panel or something up here, or hog paneling, it's 16 foot long. That way it'd be 8 foot on center. So I'll space them out about 8 foot. That way if we ever want to change or upgrade the fence later, we can. Right now I'm just gonna use some welded wire, the 2x4, like we did over on the other pig paddock. You find the nest.
It goes way down in the tree.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what
Probably
it is.
squirrel. Might be squirrel.
Is that too low?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, it does seem low, but it seems low for anything. A nest in there, that little knot right here.
Don't make it big.
All right, now the fun part, get the T-posts, put them in. This time, I'm gonna try to put a T-post in without smashing my head.
Oh my gosh, yep, it's a baby squirrel.
Oh. Oh, it's a flying
squirrel.
It's a flying squirrel.
Oh my god, look at his little flaps. There's more than one.
Oh, he's so tiny.
Yeah. Oh, sweet little baby. Little blind baby. Get in there. Get in there. Now I feel bad.
Tucking it back in.
Oh, they're just tucking.
The little baby flying squirrels. We see them up by the feeders in the summertime frame. You'll see them come down. They're nocturnal, so they come down the tree at night, and the dogs love watching them. Yeah. Try to get them all the time, but that's pretty neat. So I would never expect them to be that low. Now we have our line that goes all the way down to the fence. I can just go ahead and put T-posts, connect it to the fence that Jeri just stepped over, and that gives us paddock 1. It's a nice small paddock for pigs. Everything behind that will be goats, and then everything down this way is going to be other paddocks for the pigs that go all the way down to the fence. We got to put a corner post. This first post is going to be kind of important because this is kind of where the gate's going to pivot to close for the paddock. But the gate should be here and pivot this way. So if it's 4 foot that way, then 4 foot this way, I need to put another post over there so that this gate is dual purpose. That way when paddock number 1 is open, paddock 2 is closed. When paddock number 1 is closed, paddock number 2 is open, and vice versa down the road. We'll eventually have to put a little bit more fencing on that side all the way up to the gate area. But I don't really know where to put that yet until we get the first post going and frame it out. So I just gotta pick an area here as a starting point that's somewhat close. I might go about 5-6 foot from the barn here and put it, and use that as a starting reference and build everything else by that. So the first post is kind of the most important in this design. Okay, so this is 6 foot here, and 6 foot would put it right here.
I would just do 6 foot, yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is about as far as we got right now. I got the T-post ran down in paddock 1, so Jeri can start taking down the old pig paddock chicken wire that was up. So right now she's just kind of working her way back up the fence line and reattaching it so we can reuse this and repurpose the chicken wire for now until we upgrade it maybe down the line. But everything past that corner point is going down, and I'm spacing out the T-post every 8 feet. I've got about 2 or 3 more to go till I hit the pasture fence down there. This fence line is going to be the 5 foot tall fence that we used over there in the other paddock. And then this outer wall right here will be converted to that taller wire too, because where I'm standing is going to be where the goat area is. They're going to be able to come into this brush, down in here into the woods a little bit, and we wanted to make sure they're not jumping in and getting out through the pig paddocks. But don't need a very big fence for the pigs, especially if you have any kind of hot wire to keep them from pushing against. So we're gonna work on that, work our way up the fence line here. Our goal is to just get this chicken wire all the way up and probably stapled or attached to the barn. And then I'm gonna finish putting in a few of these T-posts back here. That way we have at least this line run, and then I can move that string over to the next side, start mapping out that side. All right, guys, so we did a bunch of work here at the pig paddocks, got a little bit more done. It's kind of nice now to be able to see the layout, and we kind of went through and pulled the line, got the first fence row done, and then pulled the line for the second fence row. And then what we did is up here along the barn, we figured out the gate system. Starting out, what we're gonna do is we're keeping all this area right here where the water is, and we'll probably have the feeder up here for most part. And this is right by the pig pen that's here in the barn. We may put another little makeshift door or half door on here while the pigs are little, but that's not a huge deal right now. All the paddocks are going to be tied back and to use the same exact pig pen at the barn. When you come out of the barn, you're gonna come over here. This is all gonna be fenced right here back to the existing side, and then over here, this corner is the corner of the gate opening. So the gate opening is gonna go right here. And what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a gate along this fence line, which you can see the fence line goes all the way down there. But the first paddock is gonna be for the small pigs when they're real young, and they don't need a huge paddock. So again, we redid this paddock here, and it's nice and small. And they can come up here back to the pig pen and out into the smaller paddock. The second paddock will be, entrance will be right here, and we'll be able to go all the way back to the pasture fence, and you can see the green line that runs from up here by the barn. That's the other fence line. So in between those two, this strip, that's paddock 2. And what's gonna happen is this door that's here will be closed to the barn 6 feet. And when you close this door, it'll close off paddock 2, and then you close off paddock 1. Then both those paddocks are closed off, and it opens up paddock 3, and so on and so forth. It looks complicated. It's hard to see right now that it's not set up properly, but we have it so that we can block off the paddocks one by one and rotate them all the way through. Once they're all the way to the end, we're gonna put the trailer back up on the 4-foot gate on the other side of the barn, and we're gonna back the trailer back up kind of as we did in this old paddock. They'll be at the far end way down there. We're gonna block them off so they're not able to get back to this pig pen. They got to rely on that trailer, so they get comfortable going up and down that trailer. That way, by the time we get to the harvest time, they just are right up, walk right up there. We can close them in and go on our way without having to stress ourselves out and chase them down. Paddock number 1 at least is temporarily set to go. We have some fencing that's rolled up to the side. Jeri did a good job pulling that chicken wire up, and that just can come up and staple to the side of the barn. And once that's done, we have an entire paddock that we can put baby pigs back into. So that was our main goal today, was at least get the first paddock temporarily set up until we get more permanent fencing in place, and then start laying out the rest of them so we kind of know how we need to progress down the paddocks. All right, well, it's getting dark out here today, and I need to head up for dinner here real soon. Jeri had to go up and get everything started. But I appreciate everyone following along on today's video. You know, we're excited to get these paddocks built out. We got to keep an eye on those starts in the greenhouse. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot in there, and I don't think we have any more cold spells coming, so fingers crossed that all those starts take off. Got a bunch of plans in the works right now on the garden side. All right, guys, until next time, we'll see you later.